Hey everybody, I hope you're staying warm out there. We've been talking about empowerment in the month of February, and one of the things we've been saying is that when we felt empowered, when someone else empowered us, it was through words. And then we talked about how, we talked about how we talk to ourselves 50,000 times. That's what researchers tell us, 50,000 times a day. Hey Janetta. But 40,000 times of that, it's negative. And so we also empower ourselves with words, but we tend to disempower ourselves with our words. So that's what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. Go find those videos if you haven't seen them. You can find them on the Life by Design Facebook page, or you can find them on the Life by Design YouTube page. Either way. But today we want to talk about empowering others. What are some specific things that we do that could empower others? And the very first thing is remind people that they have a choice, especially the women in your world. Remind the women in your world that they have a choice. So much of the time we have already made a choice and we don't realize it. We're not recognizing that the result we're living in is based on a choice that we've already made. I was all of sixth grade, all the maturity that comes with being in sixth grade. I was sitting at my kitchen table complaining, lamenting about everything that had gone wrong in my life and how the world was out to get me, when my mom turned to me and said, "Michelle, happiness is a choice." Now, like every good sixth grade daughter, I said to myself, that woman is crazy. Happiness is not a choice. What is she talking about? Thankfully, I was a little smarter than most sixth grade girls, and I didn't let that pass through my lips. But fast forward a couple of decades, and I'm married. I have 2 kids on the ground. I love my job. I have this mentor that I adore, that I just soak up knowledge from all the time. And one day she says something like, "Michelle, you have a choice. Michelle, happiness is a choice." It's like the sky parted, the angels sang, and I was like, whoa, my whole world changed. Happiness was a choice. I don't know, I couldn't hear it when I was in the 6th grade, but that day from my mentor, I heard it. Hey, Jennifer. Hope you two are staying warm out there. So remind the people in your world, especially the women in your world, they have a choice. Help them see they've already made a choice sometimes. That is empowering. You could sit down right now and write out all the ways you have a choice. I can choose happiness. I can choose misery. I can choose to be damaged, or I can choose not to be damaged. Think of all the choices. It's very empowering. So empower the other people in your world. Remind them they have a choice. Then also fight the bully. Get in the fight with them, with the people around you. Get in the fight with them to fight the bully. Now, a lot of people actually have a literal bully, but I'm talking about the bully in their heads. We have this inner voice. We've already talked about how 40,000 messages a day are negative in our heads. So help them fight the bully. Now, there's some easy ways to do that. Usually, it's by paying attention to their own language, what language they're using. One of the things I like to do in my world is stop people. Now, the phrase that I hear lots of women using, they start a lot of sentences with, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sorry." Now, if you've really done something wrong and you need to apologize, use that phrase. But starting every sentence with that phrase shows us that the bully in your head is working overtime and you are constantly dealing with all these negative messages. So I like to stop women and say, "No, you're not sorry. You're fantastic. Let's start that sentence again." I help them start rethinking the words they're using. So to empower other people, remind them they have a choice and fight the bully in their head. And then finally, show up. Those are the 3 things that I think that if we will start doing them consistently, we can empower everyone, especially the women in our world. Show up. I was given several years ago, I was given a new kind of role in the organization I was in. And in that role, I had a team of women that were doing events, regular, fabulous events, multiple times a year for multiple years. This one particular event that was powerful. Hi, Christine. And they were doing it beautifully, and they needed nothing from me. But I showed up for part of the event the first time. that I was in this role. And they told me later they did not realize how much they needed someone to just show up, how empowering that was to have someone show up. So show up for people in your world, especially the women in your world. Show up when they're celebrating something, when they're doing something great. Show up when it's a disaster and they're not getting it done. Show up when they don't know what they don't know. And lend a little of your knowledge. Just show up. So those are the 3 things that I'd say empower other people. If we will remind the people in our world they have a choice. If we will fight the bully in their head with them. And then if we will show up. I was surprised in all the conversations I've had recently about empowerment. I've been surprised how many women tell stories the first time they felt empowered. And from those stories we see it's all about someone showed up in their world and saw something in them. I'm Michele Gooch with Life by Design. You can find me here Wednesdays at 1. Next Wednesday, we will be talking about empowerment and the Enneagram types. What empowers certain Enneagram types? At Life by Design, I know that you want to live a life of direction and purpose. You want to be that most authentic version of yourself. And in order to do that, you need to be confident in who you are. That sounds so simple, right? The problem is we oftentimes lose track of who we are. We just don't know who we are anymore. And that makes us feel like we're not enough. I believe it's wrong for any of us, women especially, to feel stuck and feel like they're not enough. You deserve to be who you were designed to be. You deserve to be who you were meant to be. And I know what it feels like to get to that place of second-guessing yourself where you are at a point of being weighed down and paralyzed and not believing you're enough. That's why I have a proven framework that helps you get from second-guessing to where you want to be, to a life you want to live. You can find me at www.lifebydesign.guru. I'll see you next Wednesday.